What up? It's your buddy Incredible Man, and I just seen Kimetsu no Yaiba episode 19. This is my discussion slash review because I don't even know where I want to start. I'm just gonna be real because it was so beautiful. I'm gonna be so honest and brutally true when I say this, man. This episode was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I've seen a bunch of anime. There's a bunch of anime I haven't seen, but out of the anime I've seen and the anime I've watched, different genres, sports, shonen, it's there's just a bunch. Okay, there's a bunch of anime I've seen and there's a bunch I haven't seen, but this by far is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I've seen like big explosion fireworks in real life, and this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. The colors, the score that was playing throughout this episode, the moments with Nezuko and Tanjiro, the moves, the cinematography, the art style, the animation, the camera movements, everything. There was nothing bad in this episode, man. I don't even know where to start. I guess I can start from the beginning. I don't want to, but I guess I will, man. It picked up right after last week's episode. We have Giyu standing there after he's defeated the other monster, the other demon. Excuse me. And we have Inosuke saying that, hey, well, you defeated one of the 12 demon moons, and if I defeat you, then that means I'll be the strongest of all. And Giyu is just like totally ignoring him, and was just not paying any attention to him at all. I'm so sorry. I'm so excited because this episode, it has me, dude. This episode was so fantastic, man. But anyway, we have Giyu ignoring Inosuke, and then he was like. And Inosuke was like, well, dude is super strong. I mean, he's on a whole different level because we couldn't even cut through this dude's skin, and he came in here and killed him in one blow. And then he tells him, like, if I can defeat you, then I'll be strong. And Giyu's just ignoring him, and then he kind of just grabs some rope and ties him up and was like, if you can't realize how hurt you are, then yeah, you should start over in basic training. But then we see oh man, someone told me her name. I can't think of her name. Hold on, give me a moment. Someone told me the chick's name from last week's episode. Her name is Shinobu. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, with her, she was there with Zenitsu, and Zenitsu was controlling his breathing, and they was having a little moment, and she pulled out the antidote to the poison, and we see some other demon slayers saving some of the other villagers and some of the other kidnapped demon slayers, which was very nice. And I like how Demon Slayer does little subtle stuff like that. A lot of anime would just gloss over that and kind of skip it, but Demon Slayer, aka Kimetsu no Yaiba, it shows all of those tiny little subtleties that you would normally see in an anime. I mean, like, because it's something like that, Zenitsu wouldn't have saw in another anime. Zenitsu wouldn't have seen everyone else get saved. It just would have just glossed over it, and they would have just like, they've been saved. You wouldn't have seen it. So that was nice for them to show that. Let's talk about the good stuff. Okay, so then we get to Tanjiro kind of realizing that his sword is broken and he doesn't know how he's going to fight this demon, and they would just go back and forth. That was a fight. They was having their fight, and then they was having their moments because he wanted Tanjiro to apologize about what he said about them not being real siblings. And then we have another great moment, man. That is when Nezuko jumps out of the box to save Tanjiro and gets cut all up, man. And then the dude was like, you could tell the expression on the dude's face changed because he was so shocked to see her do that. And he was like, now that's a real sibling bond. That's what I want. And the other chick that he had, I'm assuming he turned into a demon, or he had the main big bad guy turned because he wanted her as a sibling. And he was like, No, that is what a sibling does. And she's like, I can do that, I can do that. And he just cut her, dude. That moment where he just sliced her in half was fantastic. It was funny and it was sad at the same time because I mean, you know, some of these demons you actually do feel sorry for, and I felt sorry for her, man, because he was just like, shut up, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, but he was like, well, you have one more chance. Go kill these people that's roaming around the mountain. But dude, did I not call it, man? Did I not call it that this dude was one of the 12 demon moons? I knew it. He was too strong compared to everybody else that we've encountered on this mountaintop besides the big super strong dude. But he had a spider's head. He didn't have like regular eyes or anything where you could see the number in it. He just had a spider's head. I called it. I knew dude was one of the 12 demon moons, man. But then we get to the absolute most fantastic part in this episode. The actual fight between Tanjiro and this dude. The colors, the score, the everything, the intensity that was building up around this whole fight. And we get a nice little flashback of Tanjiro's dad doing, I'm assuming like some kind of ritualistic dance. And it was so nice to see Tanjiro's dad. And I was thinking that he was maybe like a demon slayer, like in the past, but he was so frail. And, you know, I don't know, but that breathing technique, man, that always comes back into play. And we all know that the breathing technique is a sign of the demon slayers. But the thing could be that Tanjiro's dad could have taught the breathing technique to the demon slayers, because he's done these rituals, and he was sickly, and he was like, there's a way that you could breathe and keep going without getting tired. And that's the main staple for the demon slayers, because they're constantly fighting a whole bunch of other demons. So that could be the thing. Tanjiro's dad could be the one that taught the demon slayers the breathing technique to keep them in a state of focus and have extra energy while they're fighting demons. But that's a theory that's going off into different territory. But it was nice to see him and the earrings and everything, because the big bad a couple episodes back, well, maybe like way back, but the big bad mentioned those earrings. So we know that he knows Tanjiro's dad, or maybe Tanjiro's dad's sensei. That's just a whole bunch of stuff that's going on. But let's get back to the fight, man. Dude, it was so fantastic, man, because we finally seen Tanjiro's 10th breathing form, well, water breathing form, man, and it's a constant flux. Tell me the name. The name is so fantastic. The name is super cool because it's constant flux, so he's constantly moving. But we finally see the dragon that we've seen in the opening, which was absolutely fantastic, man. But it's constant flux. That is just beautiful. But the most beautiful moment part was when we saw the dragon and it was constant flux going, and then he had the flashback about his dad remembering the dance. And then the constant flux mixes in with his father's ritualistic dance, and it comes out, and the fire dragon and the water dragon turns into a fire dragon. It's so much stuff, man. It was so good. Then we have a cool technique by the demon dude where he's like, his webs are infused with his blood, and they kind of surround Tanjiro, and that's when the fire dragon comes out from the technique that he learned from his father, which was so fantastic, and it lit up the whole screen. That is what was the moment that was so fantastic about it. And then the dude even said earlier in this episode, and everyone else has said the same thing about Nezuko when they met her, that there's something special about her. And in this episode, we see Nezuko use blood demon art. We see Nezuko use blood demon art, and what was it? Was it an explosion? What? Hold on, give me a moment. I gotta go back. I remember Tanjiro's move, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't remember his dad's technique, but I'm trying to remember the what was it? It looked so good. The animation and art style, everything looked so perfect in this episode. I don't care what anybody says. This episode was absolutely beautiful. And I said that about another episode, but this episode, like, I literally mean it. It was so fantastic. I want to see the, I'm trying to find Nezuko's blood demon art. Oh, come on, man. It wouldn't want to pull up. I don't want to search it because I don't want to be spoiled by anything. So I'm not going to search anything. I just want to watch it from the video. From this episode, if it'll pull up. Okay, I think this is it. Okay, yeah. That scene with the fire was absolutely fantastic. He cut dude's head off, and his sword was was already cut short, but I don't know if anybody else saw it or paid any attention to it. Nezuko's blood demon art also fell onto Tanjiro's sword and kind of gave it that extra propulsion that it needed to cut through his head. I don't know if anybody else seen it, but I saw it. Okay, it's right here. Constant flux. He's cutting. He's taking over with the fire. Okay, he see the dude's opening thread. Okay, here it is. Okay, the mom's trying to wake Nezuko up. Come on, man. I need more. Get to it. Okay, she's waking up. I'm sorry that I was like dozed off, man. It was so good, and I really want to find the name because it was so fantastic. Blood demon art, exploding blood. Okay, I can't believe I forgot that name. That was crazy. That name was like simplistic. It wasn't that complicated, but it was blood demon art, exploding blood, which was fantastic. But I don't know if anybody else seen it. The little droplets fell onto Tanjiro's piece of sword that was left, and it gave it that extra propulsion to cut off dude's head. It was fantastic. I loved every moment of this episode, man. And I keep telling you guys every week, man, just like Fire Force, it keeps getting better and better and better and better. Like after a while, it's gonna run out of room. I mean, you can only go so high, but it keeps going so high, and it's absolutely fantastic, man. But this is your boy Dick Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe. But only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.